Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Let's talk a little bit more about it now that we have a bit more information, and hopefully this will help calm some of us down. Make sure if you guys can that you join us at Flight Sim Expo 2023. That's right, Overkill Simulations is going to be present this year, guys, at the Lone Star Museum in Houston, Texas. If you guys are interested in joining us there, be sure to check down the description below. There is a coupon code that can save you guys a bit of money using my personal reference to get you there. Again, that'll save you a bit of cash in your Flight Sim Expo 2023 experience. This is going to be June 23rd through the 25th of 2023. Again, in Houston, Texas, at the Lone Star Flight Museum. I went a few years ago in Las Vegas, and they are an absolute great time. There's some very, very informative and educational seminars to help better your flight simming experience, as well as a ton of developers of both hardware and software that you guys actually get to try out, essentially a try before you buy experience, as well as talking with the developers themselves and finding out what the products are all about. So again, guys, it's going to be Flight Sim Expo 2023 in Houston, Texas. I hope to see you guys all there. Don't forget to use my coupon code that you can find down in the description below. If you are interested in acquiring any of my Overkills tutorial guides or simply interested in supporting the channel, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides as well as any future guides that come along down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below, and thank you to all of my current subscribers. Okay, so I did a video a couple days ago, and I know you guys have seen a whole bunch of them where the announcement of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 was made the other day. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, for those of you who don't know, is going to be a completely new standalone release of the simulator that promises to bring many new features, more highly focused on a career mode and career option. And we're going to talk more about that. I'm going to let everyone know what we know about Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 thus far, and then talk about what some of the concerns have been and what may alleviate some of those concerns. So first off, let's go ahead and just get into what is it, right? So with the announcement of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, they have promised a bunch of different things that we can do. For example, search and rescue missions, aerial firefighting, helicopter cargo transport, mountain rescue, skydiving, transportation, cargo ops, all kinds of stuff, air racing, but actual competition air racing. So it's actual a mission. So I imagine there's going to be AI pilots involved as well. Literally bringing you a real world mission set. Now, they haven't gone into very high detail as far as the length of these mission terms, right? But the fidelity in the imagery is quite impressive. So let me go ahead and show you guys some of that, because that part is actually pretty cool, I have to say. Let's see here. Should be that guy. Okay. So, for example, here's a display of the big guppy. Or no, this would be a beluga, excuse me. And just look at all the road textures or road equipment, all the ground equipment down here, all the detail that's being put down into these different things here. Coming in, here's our skydiving mission, right? Another screenshot, search and rescue. Okay, got some hiker's truck, equipment transport, bunch of really cool stuff. So they're putting a lot of effort into this, right? Now, this is all great and dandy, fine, there are certain textures people have noticed, oh my gosh, is this going to be on a new engine? Is it going to be, I can guarantee you it's going to be using the same graphics engines and the same overall world textures that 2020 is using, okay? The images that we're seeing here are refined areas, sir. And you're going to have refined equipment, obviously, those are going to be highly detailed based on the nature of what they're trying to do here with this new simulator. Now, the big thing that had everybody up in arms was all of your add-ons, all of the things that we've purchased, right? So let's start setting some of that. Let's start chopping some of that down. First off, in Microsoft's release of their FAQ, they have blatantly stated that right here. With very few exceptions, virtually all add-ons that work in 2020 today will function in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I wanted to explain to you guys what that means. That does not mean you have to repurchase it. It's going to be built off the same structure. I can tell you that, guys, right now, based on everything that they're doing, and I'm going to get into why I'm putting these pieces together here. First off, if they were going to change the structure of the simulator itself, the overall operation of it, right, then almost all of these would be broken. The fact that they're saying that all add-ons that work with 2020, with very few exceptions, won't work with 2024 means that the community folder is going to exist. I want you guys to know that anything that you purchase right now, even through the marketplace, you can copy it over into your community folder if it doesn't by default, and it will load. Okay, if you purchase a product that has an auto installer and it puts it into the community folder, you can copy it back out and put it into your add-ons directory and use add-ons linker, and it will load. So what they're saying here is that if you purchase Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, you could basically copy everything that's in your community folder from 2020, paste it into your community folder in 2024, and they will all work and load. That is the general gist that I'm catching from this. The other thing, anything that you have purchased from the Microsoft Flight Simulator marketplace will not need to be repurchased. There's another catch there. A bunch of third-party developers have also come out and stated, such as PMDG and Flightbeam. PMDG has made it clear that they are not going to stop work on any 2020 products. And based on the information that's been publicly made available to them, they don't have any reason to believe that 2024 won't be just as functional as 2020, meaning that it's very likely, based on, again, what we previously stated, add-ons working with the independent sims, that you could probably take your PMDG 737 from Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, drop it into your community folder 2024, and it sounds like it's going to work. And again, it's going to be based on the architecture of the simulator itself. 2024 is going to have some more oohs and ahs in it. It's going to have the career mode. It's going to have higher definition, higher fidelity people and ground units and things like that. Okay, it's going to have a bunch of really cool stuff and bells and whistles. Probably, hopefully, have a cleaner UI and a much more efficient UI. Yes, I know people. There are those who love it and those who don't like it. I'm one who doesn't like it. I think it's clunky. But for example, like Flightbeam has stated that if you purchased any of their add-ons, you will not need to purchase them again for 2024. Okay, meaning that, again, if you buy 2024 and you want to use your Flightbeam scenery, copy it over in 2024, and you do not have to pay for it again. So I think there was a big uproar, and I was very indifferent. I'm still excited for it, and yet at the same token, I see a lot of different points. Some of the points of contention, I think, is that in many ways, 2020 she's still hurting, right? There's still a lot of issues that need to be addressed. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done on it. Microsoft has also stated, or Asobo, Microsoft/Asobo, have also stated that all the work that has been promised on 2020 is not going to stop. Sim updates, world updates, bug fixes, enhancements, roadmaps are still going to be released on the monthly basis as they have been. So the work that was promised as a 10-year project for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 has been guaranteed to continue as planned. So again, that's good news, because it means that if you don't want to move over 2024, if it doesn't have the interest that you're looking for, your product of 2020 will continue to be updated and supported as promised. I know that was a big point of contention for many people. No need to fear there anymore. And then my biggest thing was the add-ons. I know people were like up in rage. I've spent so much money on 2020. I've dropped all this cash, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and absolutely right. When you think about someone hit it right on the head, and I mentioned just what the base deluxe version had cost. And when I say base deluxe, I mean without any add-ons. So the deluxe version, I think, was $120 when I bought Microsoft Flight Simulator. And one of you viewers put in the comments, like, you don't just pay the $120 for Microsoft Flight Simulator after you've figured in all your add-ons, your scenery, your aircraft, and you're absolutely right. It's like DCS World. DCS World, when you figure $60 an aircraft, I've probably got just about all of them. I think I'm missing 3 or 4. I bet I've got $600 in DCS World right there. So I totally get that. And that's absolutely correct. And so it was actually refreshing to hear that. I wish they had expanded more on what the virtually no add-ons will have to be replaced means. So where they said virtually all add-ons that work in 2020 will work. I wish they had expanded more on what they meant. Like what kind of add-on won't work. I'm guessing it's going to be something like NeoFly, anything that's competitive to what they're trying to do. I'm hoping they don't do that. I think that would be wrong. Especially given the fact that you have developers like NeoFly and many of the other career add-ons that have been at this a lot longer than them and dedicated a lot more time to them and made their simulator a lot more money because of their hard work. So I really hope they don't go that route. And again, that is pure speculation. But I'm kind of curious what add-ons aren't going to work if they're saying that virtually all of them will, right? So is that just leaving room for the unknown? Or are they, is there a couple of categories where they know for a fact these particular add-ons aren't going to work, in which case I wish they had specified that, because again, that lets people, they need to be very, in my opinion, in order for 2024 to be successful and not piss half the world off, they need to be much more transparent than they are being right now. They are not being anywhere near transparent. Even the FAQ that they put out 2 days ago, and this is why I waited to do this video. The FAQ that they put out was lame. It was very vague, wasn't particularly transparent, wasn't, there's still no real release date. Obviously, 2024 you can expect, and if I were to bet my money, we'd be looking at August of 2024. That's just me. Again, speculation. I have no reason to do that other than that's when 2020 was supposed to drop. So, throwing that out there. So you have a bunch of really vague, high-level information. Then you've got even more vague limitations, but then you've got all of your marketplace purchases. You're totally fine. You don't have to rebuy anything from the marketplace. You've got third-party developers saying, nope, you're not going to have to rebuy any of our stuff, so there's a lot of things that are starting to wiggle back into place now, and I think Microsoft did a really poor job of announcing this one, and they should have known this was coming, and I almost wonder if it was intentional. Like, I really do. As stupid as that sounds, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it's like, why would you release such vague information knowing you were going to set the community on fire? Like, they've been at this for a while. They knew that this was going to cause some very serious back and forth stuff here. So, anyways, recap. So it sounds like with 2024, all of your current add-ons, most of them, let's call it 90. I want to call it 95%. Let's just call it, be safe. 90% of all add-ons are going to work just fine. If you guys, I can bet you money that your community folder is still going to be there in 2024, meaning that you will be able to copy one community folder to the other. You'll be able to use something like Addons Linker to facilitate that as well. Just change the add-on profile in Addons Linker, and you can direct it to the new sim. So I don't think that's going to be too much of a concern. I'm not worried about aircraft because of the way that, again, talking about that architecture, talking about that they're saying virtually all add-ons are going to work. That means that your third-party aircraft, PMDG, things like that, I imagine are going to work just fine. My speculation is things that aren't going to work is like maybe like AccuScenery, scenery changes, weather engines, things like that. Possibly some other career add-ons that might be considered a competitor to the base sim. They're obviously not going to want that. But we'll see. It's pure speculation there. I hope I'm wrong on that one. I really do. But all in all, and the work on Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 is going to continue as a 10-year project as initially planned, with all sim updates and world updates and patches included, along with the roadmaps each month. So it really is just going to be a matter of hanging out until we get a bit more information, but it's definitely not, I don't think it's anything to be angry about yet. It sounds like it's going to work the same way 2020 does, with a few more bells and whistles is what it sounds like to me, which I'm excited about. Like the fire missions, I'm totally stoked about. Again, it kind of makes me wonder in regards to that, like High Performance Group has done their amazing work with creating fire missions and things like that, and search and rescue and blah, blah, blah inside of the simulator. So again, I hope that High Performance Group was a part of that development. I hope that they get credit where credit is due. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Let me know how you guys are feeling about 2024 now that a bit more information has come out. And let's chat. Talk to you guys in the next one.